Mm. Mm. Good morning. Good morning. Someone nod their head if you can hear me. Welcome. Today is the 6th of August, 2020. This is Tan Consulting Group Limited. We are happy to host you in our discussion this morning. Our topic being knowledge management for organization effectiveness and sustainability. If you can hear me, please type a yes on the chat box and I'm able to see that we are together. Thank you, Paris. I can see you. Good morning to you. Asante sana. Let's all type a yes on the chat box and say a good morning. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Duncan. Esther Magambo, karibu sana. Yes, good morning. Okay, very well. I think with that is a good confirmation that we are audible. This is Tan Consulting Group Limited. Again, I'd like to take this chance to welcome all of us on this discussion. It's a discussion we would like all to share in our experiences as we appreciate what is knowledge management. Probably some of us have interacted with the subject, others may not have, but I believe by the time we are somewhere midway, you will discover this is a discipline you actually interact with every other day in your engagements. So we invite everyone to be part of this conversation, and we can learn from one another. Who is Tan Consulting Group Limited? We are management and consulting firm founded in the year 2009. So you can see we are pretty like 11 years old, doing this and more jobs. What defines our work? Our work is defined by several pillars. One, we do strategy and planning for organizations. We facilitate them to develop new mid-end strategic plans. We review existing strategic plans. We help them align, and also do an evaluation of where the organization is in regard to implementing their own strategic plans, and also offer support, capacity building to facilitate them implement the strategic plans more smoothly. We also do market activations and branding. Here we facilitate organizations to have their products, their services land in the market, access markets and regions they would wish them to access, and also achieve penetration levels that support their business plans. We also do research. In research, we do customer satisfaction survey for different organizations. We do employee engagement and satisfaction surveys, work environment survey, and any other kind of a survey that organizations would be interested in. We do training. This is our biggest pillar. Training in different disciplines: risk management, finance for non-finance, HR for non-HR, emotional intelligence, knowledge management, customer service. Customer service is our biggest training program, and we invite you to engage us on that. Another pillar that defines our business is HR consulting services. Here, what do we do? Here, we recruit for organizations. We facilitate organizations develop policies and also align them. We also facilitate organizations headhunt for specific positions, and also develop performance management systems and any other HR-related matter that they would be interested in. So you can talk to us in regard to any of these areas. We also offer technology consulting, and especially so to support survey and also sales. How do we track our salespeople? How do we facilitate our salespeople to ensure they actually can report and have real-time records on where they are, what they're up to, what they've achieved, amongst others. And also we do experiential team building. Today, of course, we are challenged in regard to team building because we cannot have masses together. But I believe an innovation is on the road coming. And if you have one, we invite you to share with us on how we can do team building experientially through technology online with the reality of COVID-19. But I believe the pandemic will soon pass, and we shall be able to have our teams together. But today we are talking about how do we engage our teams remotely. And knowledge management is one area that is going to facilitate us that. So this morning we have with us Dr. Stanley Karanja, who will be sharing some insights on the subject, and also myself. So we invite you to participate in the conversation. We're happy to have you. So Dr. Stanley is my host, my co-host in the program. Dr. if you're ready, we are ready for you. I can see more participants. Thank you, Anthony Mungai. Welcome from Ministry of Health. We're happy to have you around. So just for the sake of facilitating all of us, please ensure on your chat box, you change the settings so that then you can send the chat to everyone, not just panelists only, so that everyone is able to see each other person's contributions on your chat box. If you have a question, use the Q&A below your screen to send in your question. We shall be answering the questions progressively as we go along and also at the end of the session. For comments, time to time, we'll be asking for comments and contributions. Please use the chat box to send in your contribution and your opinions and an addition or a query, and we'll be happy to incorporate that as part of the discussion. So, karibuni sana, Dr. Stanley, welcome. Excuse me for a minute.
Good morning. Good morning to all. Fellow participants, thank you. Thank you, fellow participants. Good morning. Good morning to you all. If we need to learn this technology nicely, if you can hear me, you go to, there's somewhere you chat, we chat. Then you also have, if you have any question, we shall strive to answer or engage, but also the participants, we shall share together how to be able to address the issues that may be arising. That is fine. If you given an opportunity to talk, you mute, you unmute, and then we'll be able to go on well. Thank you very much for being on board. Thank you very much for being on board. Esther Magambo, thank you very much. Boniface Mutier, Duncan Nolawa, Anselm Mungela. Great, thank you so much, people. So without much ado, we need to start. And thank you, Rachel, for the fantastic introduction. And now I wanna go straight to sharing. My name is Dr. Stanley Karanja, but let me go to sharing the screen. This content we are going to think and engage today with you. For you to be able to actualize it, it requires at least 3 as a minimum to 5 days with a lot of action plans, action points, so that you can be able to help the organization. But this webinar is to be able to share some bit of insights about what is this knowledge management. So welcome aboard. I will go straight to sharing the PowerPoint present knowledge management for organization effectiveness and sustainability. My name is Dr. Stanley Karanja. Rachel has introduced to us matters of who we are, what we do here at Stan Consulting Group. Thank you very much for joining us. So from strategy, customer, human resources, corporate training to indulgence with you. What do you understand by the term knowledge? What do you understand by the term knowledge? My prayer is that this discussion becomes very, very interactive. So go to the chat box, and kindly write there, what do you understand by the term, what do you understand by the term knowledge? Share your thoughts in the chat box. What do you understand by the term? What do you understand by the term knowledge? So I'm going through, I'm looking. Thank you. Hope the recording will be shared. Thank you, Duncan. Yes, you've been answered. It will be shared. We should be shared. So let's go to the chat box and let's engage as we indulge. So what do you understand by the term knowledge? We all have knowledge. We all have, we know something. Wealth of information. Thanks, Joyce Wangoi. You're saying information. Thank you. Thank you, Duncan. You're saying wealth of information acquired over time. Fantastic. Thank you, Joyce Wangoi. I want to see more charts. Dear participants, the reason why you're called a participant is because you're participating. So please write something. And one thing in adult learning, I believe there's nobody who's below the age of, we are all adults. So it's good to share. It's good to share knowledge. It's good to participate. It's very, very important so that you can be able to thank you. Mongela, knowledge is what people understand on a subject. Esther, thank you. Expertise depends which school I went to school. Expertise on a given field. Participants, let participate. Thank you, Boniface. Skills, awareness of a subject. How nice. Thank you. I'm waiting for more chats. Let's continue chatting. What do you understand by the term knowledge? Knowledge. Good to participate is always important. When you participate, you'll be able to appreciate more. But we encourage you, please, dear participants, let's interact. I believe in more of interaction because you have knowledge. There's something that you know. There's something that you know. What is this that you know? And how do we bring it into the business perspective? How do we bring it live to our situations? It's very, very important. So what is knowledge? What is knowledge? What is knowledge? Knowledge, we can segregate it into three key main areas: data, information, and knowledge, to be able to appreciate where knowledge is going. But your charts, as you have shared, well more like it, that knowledge, thank you, Elizabeth, are facts, information, skills acquired through experience or education. Very, 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 very important, and we really appreciate that. So knowledge is issues to do with data, collection of facts, measurements, statistics. Information is the organized data. We have data from different fields: customer data, sales data, financial data. When it is organized, then it becomes information for use in an organization. When this information again is contextualized, made relevant, actionable, then it builds to the body of knowledge. Knowledge is strong experiential and reflective elements. It's dynamic by its nature. It's acquired over time. It's acquired within the environment. And we'll be able to see what the branches are, and fragments that happen within knowledge and its body. And it evolves over time and again. This is the point that it is the information that changes something or somebody, becoming grounds for action by making an individual or an institution capable of different, more effective action. So we are saying organizations, if they have data, they have organized data information, they have knowledge, and this knowledge, because it's from the data, is kept in a shareable environment or base that can be accessed by relevant individuals. It brings the use in the organization. So as we look at the body of knowledge and understanding the term knowledge, so key things to take home is it starts with data. Many at times we have knowledge, qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative is what you can be able to measure. But also over time, we have the ability of having measurements on qualitative data. So the knowledge management continuum starts from the data in papers, in laptops, in archives, Then when it is organized to be able to make certain judgments, it is organized, conceptualized, and put into perspective, it brings information. Then this information for the use and to be able to deliver certain strategic goals and to be able to be impactful in our lives and our situations, in our communities, it is knowledge. So data is the first key, is the first step, because you need relevant data, which shapes administrative services or programs. That data, how do we keep that data? And I love using the balanced scorecard approach in many things that help businesses or organization growth. For example, customer. What data do you have in your organization on customer? What data do you have on customer? How many customers do you have? Data. How many customers have you engaged? It's all from the data. In the engagement phase, what is this information that you engage with the data that you have? What is the impact that comes from it? It builds the body of knowledge. So information is data that is processed. Information deals with way that data is related. So having the data is not enough. It requires a designed effort to be able to become information. Many organizations have data. We're talking about artificial intelligence. And when we're talking about artificial intelligence, it came about 1960 by a great scholar who thought about it, but people saw that maybe this person was getting mad. And today, the world of data is and how the use of data and technology is what is bringing the issue of artificial intelligence. So when we talk about data, information transformed, transposed to knowledge, so that knowledge becomes that information that's modeled to be useful. Any information that is not useful today, but always good to store it because it may be useful tomorrow. But when it's news, it is knowledge, that information which is useful. Knowledge examines the patterns within a set of information. So we can module and remodule many things to be able to make sense and meaning out of knowledge. What do you know? How do you know that you know? And it goes beyond the world of philosophy to ask ourselves critical questions. Did you know that what you know is what you don't know? So you need to go back to data to be able to validate what you know, that is what you know. Conscience, competence. Why is knowledge so hard to manage? We have lots of data, but less information or knowledge. Because we don't take that data, we don't transform it, we don't organize it to information that can be useful for us having the knowledge. We are not sure which knowledge is valuable. Tribal knowledge and experience is difficult to document. Knowledge that you have, the knowledge that you cannot explain, but you have it. And that's why in the organization, we need to start exploring how do we be able to have this knowledge captured. We talk about African traditional society. Knowledge was passed, information was passed through either people sitting around the bonfire, discussing storytelling. Was it captured? Was it really transferred over generations to generations? How effective was it? And that's why in the Western world, they document. That's why we can read books, what happened. They came also to be able to document our stories, which builds knowledge, make use out of it. When talk about pockets of data reside in many sources and tools within the organization, how shall we be able to see and have people within organization focused on each and every data and make sense of it to be able to propel the organization. This is where we talk about data to think business. The databases can be too linear for meaningful queries, but again, you can design the databases in a manner that they can be able to be organized, to be able to have useful information, which we regard as knowledge. So in the organization, we have many of these things, but do we have a particular focus to be able to know that we are doing so? That every data that we capture, it's going to be useful. This is where those that have been able, it's a big opportunity and a big business opportunity where we have that artificial intelligence and people be able to do many of these things. And that's why we have, even in Kenya, that's why we had to develop a database of all citizens of this country, the Huduma number, which took details. We will be able to know with the time, what is it being used for? And it can be used in many things to be able to help businesses. Even in a business, you need database, be it of customer, be it of financial, be it of processes, be it of people. You need to be able to appreciate even talents what you have. Why is it knowledge so hard to manage? Again, controlling accuracy and currency is so challenging that this information is current. But we should not belabor too much. Let's have a system where we can be able to keep data, all data collect, store it, because we, in this day and age, we have technology which can help us. Proprietary knowledge, is it equal to job security? Many organizations, people are refusing to share knowledge. People don't want to coach. People don't want to mentor. People are holding because that is their job security. But again, we say knowledge management, the more I give you more knowledge, the more that knowledge makes sense. But many do not understand. Many are not aware. The more I share, the more I coach, the more I train, the more I impact, the better knowledge shapes within me and my surrounding. But with culture and how things have been, people hold information. You go to the graveyard, there is so much knowledge, so much talent, so much information, or because it was not useful, we cannot call it knowledge. But let's say, call it knowledge for now. It's buried or it was burned. So I want us again to go to our chat box. I want us to be able to engage on a level of 0 to 100 in your organization. Do you think, in percentage terms, do you think we are using the data effectively? Do you think the data we have, we are using it effectively? In fact, just answer yes or no. Just say, participant, please go to the chat box. The question I'm putting on to you, do you think the data you have in your organization is useful? To what percentage? The data you have in your organization, do you think it is useful? To what percentage? Yes, 65%. Yes, thank you, Joyce. Thank you for your participation. Thank you so much. Boniface says 70% is making sense. Yes, it's making sense. Thank you. We have an opportunity then of 30% or whatever. Let's get from some more people. Yes, 60%. Very, thank you, Duncan. John Makuge, thank you very much. 70%. Yes, thank you. 65, 55%. Thank you, and on and on and on and on and on and on. We are saying, but if 70%, and if you go back to the data itself, you know, we are answering this question, but we have not been able to go and check our databases. And again, do our database make sense? Who keeps the data? Who keeps the data? How is the data stored? How is it categorized? Those are the critical questions that we need to continuously ask ourselves as we ponder about this great question. And it's a big business opportunity. You see, If you can be able even to venture on knowledge management and be able to specialize, help organization with data acquisition, data storage, data manipulation, making sense out of data to have information, this information helping in decision making, there we are, there we are. You know, many times we think business, and the biggest challenge in the business world, we copy paste what others are doing. We are putting hardwares, we are putting salons, we are putting, we all want to go to the rentals. But again, who among us will be able to go to this level? Our IT specialists know the gem in this about data. Do they know? And these are the things that, Patrick Mena, thank you, 75, thank you. So it's very, very important for us to continue pondering from today, henceforth, pondering this greatest question. Do we make sense of data? Do we collect data? Because you may have it, 70%, 50% you're using, but what data? Was it captured first? I go to the retail industry and I always ask them, how many customers do you have, the supermarkets or wherever? They'll tell you we have this, but what is the customer count? Yes, you're telling transaction. You have a lot of information. I'm making use of it. Making decisions without getting back to basics of the data, categorize it, manipulate it. So it is a good opportunity, fellow participants, that you've been able to be with us today here at Stern Consulting Group, that this is a pointer and it's a wake-up call for all of us within our organization, how we shall be able to be capturing data from today, categorize it, have the appropriate scale, and that's why we have another course that we are doing, Big Data Analytics. It's a course we offer at Stern Consulting Group Limited, Big Data Analytics and Decision Making. How do you make decisions from the data that is there? And how do you bring experts to be able to contribute to this in decision making? As we continue, we'll be able to gather this more. But let me go back to introduction to KM. Many have said that we are moving from post-industrial to knowledge-based economy. And it is true. When we are talking about technology, and then now data, our living, the way you have your phone, you are moving from one point to another, you're getting into a car, you are now getting Uber, you are using maps to go. It's all gonna be part of the artificial intelligence, which will build us to the knowledge-based economy. You and I, are we ready to the knowledge-based economy? Effective knowledge management is now recognized to be the key driver of knowledge and new ideas, to the innovation process, to innovate new products and services and solutions to our customers. There is no business without customers. There is no money without customers, leave alone processes. And then the money, the customer, the money, it requires people who are knowledgeable. We must appreciate knowledge age. We're in the knowledge age, which has been the third wave of the human socio-economic development. First, we had the agricultural age. Wealth was defined as ownership of land, agricultural age. In fact, in our historical learnings, we called it the agrarian revolution, whereby even the way people were born, the way it was about human beings to be able, you need to give, to bear more children, men to have more women with children, to be able to help you in farming, be able to take care of agriculture. Then there was so much done, which requires mechanization. Then it took us to industrial age, came to the industrial revolution. How do you take that output from agriculture into input in the industrial age? But many things have gone on. And the third wave is where the technology has come to enhance productivity, efficiencies, effectiveness. And this is the third wave of the knowledge age, the knowledge era, where wealth will be based upon the ownership of knowledge and the ability to use this knowledge to create or improve goods and services. See it here, that it is not only the ownership of knowledge or knowing is important. It is the use of that ability that you have to be able to create and improve. Knowing and keeping quiet without doing anything is useless. It must be used to create and improve goods and services to be impactful in the world that we live. Very important. The knowledge age. And the knowledge age is what is taking care of all the way from the technological ages and the far part of the artificial intelligence, where we are talking about data, information, age, and the knowledge age. So combined together, we say we have three waves: the agrarian, the industrial, and the knowledge revolution. And my participants today, let's join hands to be able to use what we know, to be able to put it into context. Remember, in the world of knowing, there is 4 stages, what we call as unconscious incompetence. You did not know that you do not know. That's a mad zone. You are mad. Either in the subject or in totality. Then you go to the second, whereby you have what we call as unconscious competence. Unconscious incompetence. Then the second one is conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence. If you're writing down, please write down somewhere. The second level of knowledge is what we call as, and skill and talent is what we call as conscious incompetence. Now, at this one, you know that you don't know. Now, in the world of development and talent development, even in the organization, even with the knowledge, and even with our knowledge management, where are you in the organization? You may be, maybe you are in a situation that you don't know that you don't know that knowledge management is important in your organization. Then the second level, which is even better, that now you know that you don't know. It's called conscious incompetent. You are conscious that you're incompetent. You know that you don't know. The first one, you did not know that you don't know. Mad. That's why you see a mad person. You see a mad person in a marketplace. He's happy, he's doing his things. Or her things, to be gender sensitive. And is happy. Nobody worried about you are worried about the mad person, but the mad person does not know that he's naked. That is, in fact, you see him, then you really focus on him. He says, "No, you see, I'm like that donkey that carried Jesus going to Jerusalem." Everybody looked at the donkey, but when Jesus was crucified, the donkey had nothing to carry, and nobody bothered about the donkey. It was left in the field. Now, the third stage is where, after the second stage, knowing that you know that you don't know, then you put action how to move from that zone to the next zone of conscious competence, that now you need to know that you know. And this is where you bring issues of strategists to be able to put into perspective your knowledge. Knowledge management. Now, you are conscious, from today henceforth, you are conscious what is knowledge management. It's about the data. It needs to be categorized. It needs to be kept. It needs to be analyzed. It needs to be collated. Then it becomes information, which again, it needs to be synthesized to become knowledge. To be used, again, it's not enough to have knowledge for productivity, efficiency, effectiveness, to be able to achieve our vision and mission and our purposes in life for the good of all, not again for selfish needs. Now, when we know what we know, that's the conscious, competent stage. We need to practice it. We need to put it into perspective. We need to practice more. Have what we call as execution. You have to do it now that you know. Conscious, competent. Now, when you put it into practice, it reaches a place whereby it becomes a culture within your environment, within your organization, within the institution. You develop to a level of that you are unconscious, competent. that you are able to use things. Everybody is happy. Everybody is motivated with the organization. Even yourself, you're motivated because it has become a second nature of you. Things are running. We have good customers. We have delighted customers. We have satisfied shareholders from a financial perspective. We have business processes which are making a lot of sense from all the things that we're doing. And we have motivated, talented workforce. We'll be able to be happy in this life. You don't need to be corrupt to earn. You just need to be happy. And this can be generated by knowing and knowing your purpose in life. So remember very well about those four levels: conscious competence, unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competent. You do not know that you know. You just do. How do I give an example like that one? When you drive, when you've been driving a manual car, do you check where the gear for reverse? You automatically know because you have engaged your engine for a long time. You don't start reading manuals where, how do you put the reverse gear? It becomes unconscious. You just get into the car, you move to an extent of, say, your car knows where you stay. Unconscious. That's where the issue of knowledge management, and knowledge leadership will help us and differentiate us from competition. Knowledge management is a broad process, and it's organized. You have to organize, you have to transfer, you have to use the information and expertise with information. Now, you have the data, you have worked on it, you have categorized it, you have it into information. To be able to make proper decision, you need expertise from your organization. You need people. People are very critical. We have to invest in people. We have to develop our people. We have to have particular skill sets which move from the 4 levels of competency development, whereby we have the unconscious to the next level. The overall knowledge management process is supported by key enablers. That's the leadership, the culture, the technology, and the measurement. What are we saying here? We're saying about leadership. The leader must be able to be decisive that this is how we're gonna do things, how we are gonna capture data, how we're gonna do it. You must have a motivation. You must have an inspiration as a leader that this is the way to go. Many a times, knowledge management, leadership have no clue how important this sphere is into the organizations. The culture of data, how you keep data, how you keep information is very paramount within the organization. And again, how shall we be effective and efficient is by the great discovery of knowledge, tools. And I say always, technology is an enabler. It's a platform that helps us to do many things faster with speed. So how is technology useful in your organization? Do you have technology platform that captures your discussions, each and everything that you do within the organization? So the question is, do you have, before we go to measurement as an enabler, do you have a technology platform whereby you store all your presentations, your minutes of meetings, your videographies, your photographies? Do you have something? Do you have somewhere that we can go and be able to say, yes, here it is? So participants, do you have it? Can you access it? Will it be transformative? How different will you do? Do you have it? Do you have this technological platform that is useful to capture all information within the organization? Do you have it? Just say yes and explain, no and explain, because somehow. So participants, let's go back to our chat. Let's keep chatting. I want to see us communicating because you also have knowledge which you need to know. Thank you so much. You don't have. Surely, thank you. Is Google Drive consideration platform? Is Google Drive considered as a platform? Okay. Let's see more. Let's see more so that we indulge. Thank you very much, Perez. Thank you very much, Mongela. Let's indulge. Let's indulge further. Yes, not sufficient for the business. Not sufficient for the business. No common storage space. Okay. Thank you very much, Joyce. Thank you. Participants, let's continue participating. We have very many participants now. It's good as a participant, always good to be able to get and to be able to engage and indulge. Okay, not sufficient. Okay, so by the end of today, I think, I hope, and I believe my belief is whatever you are doing, you are able to SharePoint to the panelists. Okay. Okay. There's something my co-panelist Rachel had asked all the participants to do. When you go to your chat box, please, where there's to all panelists, you can also click now again by your choice. You can also click to everyone or to panelists and attendants. Feel free to even the others to be able to see what is happening, because I'm saying mostly they are directed towards the panelists, so you can be able to check that button of you can be able to do that. Feel free. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great contributions. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Dear participants, let's engage, let's engage. Do you have a technological platform within your organization, big or small, that you share information on your day-to-day happenings? Let's continue, let's continue, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. Thank you very much. Adjust your settings where possible, please. Okay. Question, where do you classify the all-knowing people? Thank you, Joyce. Your question, very important. Very, very important. Appreciate. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Joyce. Where do you classify all-knowing people? Okay, all-knowing people. Now that we are going to personality. That we are going to personality. Personality types. They're all-knowing people, different types of customers, different types of people, how they do different types of things. Good. Now, when we have leadership, we have culture, we have technology. What is ailing many organizations? There is no designed strategy on technology. Technology has come to our lives as a by the way. Technology has come to our lives as a by the way, not designed particularly to be able to deliver for us. Check even KPIs of knowledge. And even check on matters to do with, even with matters to do with corruption today. The best place people are using today for corruption tendencies are the technological platforms. People don't have a plan. There's abuse of technology and even its platform. But again, it's an enabler. It's like roads, tarmac roads. There is the Google sites. There is the people who are using iPhone. There is the cloud. But again, you must be able to test it. Is it offering solutions to you? If a person within the organization dies, can we be able to tap the knowledge, the information that they ever had? The meetings that we've been having, the thinking, the trail of our thinking, how are we able to bring it together and be able to capture it with technology? You can see even like the media when the reason what happened with Papa Shirandula, all the information that's captured about his life, his photos and all those things. It's part of knowledge management. Now those who are able to bring them out and say, oh, you see, he married, he did all those things. In your organization, how are these things kept? And what do they contribute to? Then from there are metrics. The process of knowledge management, there should be metrics. There should be metrics. So the capabilities by which communities within an organization capture the knowledge is critical to them. Constantly improve it and make it available in the most effective manner to those that need it so that they can exploit it creatively to add value as a normal part of their work. That was from one great company, GSK. Then Marianne Sarafzadeh, Bill Martin, 2000 et al., 2006, the creation and subsequent management of an environment which encourages knowledge to be created, shared, learned, enhanced, and organized for the benefit of the organization and its customer. What has happened to Beirut? They had the knowledge. They had the knowledge that they have the nitrates, the ammonia nitrates in very big quantities. They shared, but did they learn from it? They have learned the difficult way because it has exploded before execution. Knowledge is very important. We may apply it different and different situations. Okay, practical definition of knowledge management is a systematic process where we create. So are we creating? Are we capturing? Are we sharing? Are we reusing knowledge within our organization? And this is the tendencies you'll see many organizations, what they do, be it the banking industry or insurance industry, or the FMCG industry or the public sector industry. There are some people who deliver. There are some people who don't deliver. Those who deliver or who don't deliver, they are taken around in merry-go-round from this institution to that institution to that institution. In the private sector is where they look for that talent. That talent is okay, let's have it here. It will be able to come and take. Why does that happen? Is because there is no plan to create, capture, share, and reuse knowledge within the organization. To coach people, to mentor people within the organization, to be able to deliver the vision and the mission. So you need to capture and make sense out of the information that we have. Learning before, learning during, and learning after. Fast learning. That's where we need to put our organizations and ourselves at. And sometimes when we talk about organization, you who is a participant today, you are a key mover, change agent, game changer to this situation. Then we go to what we call as knowledge assets. Now, after capturing, creating, and you capture, you develop what's called community knowledge, electronic mentor, And that's what's happening over time. And that's why you see the organizations, the Facebookers, the Google have been able to do this very well. Capture information even about yourself and how you relate, how you connect, and also be able to avail it for you. It's a big business opportunity using the technology platform. We also need to peer review. Peer review is where experts now are able to, because over time, knowledge inside you over time, gained over time, is very helpful to be able to get this knowledge over which has been created, captured, and shared for use, and they use connectivity to the organization goals. It needs to be done what's called peer review. Because sometimes, even in these platforms, we have garbage. So how do we able to know what is of use? It requires peer review and proper conceptualization. So when we have fast learning and we have the knowledge assets, we need a technology platform, collaboration tools, expertise location, and secure access of the information that we have, built under a knowledge base, because the technology will be able to make us connect. Right now, we are connecting wherever you are through the Zoom technology, Zoom media. Then from there, for us to continue to be able to deliver this and to be very effective and impactful into our lives is what we call as leadership support, driven by practitioners. If you're a leader in your organization, very important. You need to support people on knowledge management project to be able to deliver this, and it's going to be useful because this also helps in organization sustainability. It helps in organization effectiveness. It has to be driven by a practitioner. You should be able to regard yourself as a practitioner and take that direction that now today you have shared a bit something, and I believe, it's my belief that you're able to, you're appreciating something that can be put into context. This will lead to coaching, mentoring. We have information. How do you create? How do you capture? How do you share? How do you reuse knowledge within the organization? How do we mentor others who have come? What has been done by others? And those who have exited from the scene, what is this great that they left behind? And people to grow up, not to refuse with knowledge. Because if they refuse with knowledge and know-how for the sake of job security, and yet they are paid, there should be a knowledge management policy within the organization that can address that. Purposeful, because people are gifted differently. We must be able to capture the information, the data, capture the data, make sense out of it, retain and reuse that information continuously. Even now, we need to retain. There was this great lady who has seen 2 pandemics. So the pandemic in the flu that the Spanish flu that came 1920s, and now and now again this which we have today, the corona, COVID-19. And he said, I remember that thing you are wearing, correct, mask. I did it. Retain and reuse. Knowledge, how shall we keep it? Then it was not kept. Right now, people are navigating what are the solutions. Yet, if they were kept properly, we could be able to know what the solution. Then we are able to connect with this knowledge to our strategies and then collaborate with the leadership and the communities of practice. We call them as COP, communities of practice. This is a great opportunity for all of us. So, as we continue, Let me see if any question is coming. Please feel free, dear participants, to ask any questions or any clarification. Feel free also to get into the chat box. Write something, what you're learning. I love engaging with people. That's me. I love engaging with people. So we will go to the details of information. Information has meaning. It has relevance. It has purpose. Information is organized with purpose, and it can potentially shape the receiver. Data becomes information when its creator adds meaning. And that's why we have one great cause in the universities, but many times people don't make sense out of it. The actuarists. Actuary. We transform data into information by adding value into various ways. Information needs to be contextualized. We know for what purpose the data was gathered. It needs to be discovered. You need to dream of what data do we require so that you design and be able to document your knowledge management strategy. Then you will be able to deliver. Contextualized. Categorized. We know the units of analysis or key components of the data. What that data means. It's unit of measurement. How they are put together into relevant communities. Calculated. The data may have been analyzed mathematically or statistically. But again, this is where we have peer reviewers. I had an opportunity to deal with one of the retail chains. And when we were calculating about customers, one of the managers decided to take the transactions, the volume divided by the volume of what the supermarket sells in a day per branch, be able to take an average and divide by the number of transactions to get the number of people. It does not make sense. There are some people who go in the same supermarket, but is one human being and shops 4 or 5 times. Are those 5 customers? It's still one. So we need peer reviewers. Even when calculations are being done, they have to make sense for it to be knowledge. Corrected. Errors have been removed from the data. We need people who can be able to see errors, inconsistencies, and be able to have a clean database. Many databases are not very correct. They need to be. We need people to focus and be able to deliver that. The data needs to be condensed so that it can be summarized in a more concise form for it to be able to be useful in knowledge. So knowledge guides us the process of analyzing data and this information that we have. So knowledge derived from information, as information derived from data. The transformation happens through the process of comparison, getting to know the consequences, getting to know the connections, and conversation. What do other people think about this information? What is it relevant to all what we are doing? Very important. Knowledge. Then we go to what we regard as okay, thank you, Boniface. You like the supermarket example. Data needs to be able to give a true and a clear picture. Fantastic, yes. I will not be a person who talks about data and the data and the data only. It must make sense. If it's not making sense, it can mislead in decision making. So we need to be careful with that. Okay. Now, when we talk about We'll continue navigating together slowly. We have a lot of information. The knowledge and the wisdom in knowledge management, from the data to information to knowledge. Where does wisdom come? It is when it is unselfish. That the data you did for the sake and the goodness of all. Not for, and also never hid it from others as part of job security. No, is to be able to help others. And the more you help yourself and others with the data, information, and derivation of knowledge, the better you become. It has to be enlightening. You must think. Many times, situations are like, how will it be of use? There are people who are gifted to see it differently and to be able to connect the dots. And you have them in the organization. Give the opportunity. And it's also a skill that can be built. Insightful. The wisdom has to be insightful, that the data makes sense. It must be uncommon common sense, but making sense out of it. Because knowledge shared continuously may make sense, but with data and common sense will arise beyond what we know. Creative interpretation of patterns and phenomena. The people also who are gifted, they see things differently and be able to see, here there is an opportunity. This is how we can be able to do. Then apply that knowledge and information for the goodness of the community, of the world, of Earth, our planet. That's what wisdom. And wisdom comes from indulgence with data, transport to information, and becoming knowledge. So, I would wish to ask the participants, what's your learning this far? So what's your learning this far, participants? I like being engaged. I like being engaged. Also, I have made the adjustment. Thank you, Paris. Thank you very much. I would like participants, what's your learning? What's your take? What are you learning? What can we do different? You know, sometimes we want to pump knowledge. Now, write one learning that you believe that you can be able to change your way of doing things in your organization or in your situation. Please, participants, get into the chat box. Yes. So I also take a cup of a sip of water. Participants, are you learning something? Are you learning something, participants? Please indulge, engage on the chat box. Engage on the chat box. Let's engage participants. Participants, let's engage. Let's engage participants. Let's engage. Are we learning something today about knowledge management? And what we are learning? What is your learning today about knowledge management? Okay. Yes, participants, thank you so much. Are we learning? You know, as a presenter, as I taking time to share with you knowledge, I also know you have knowledge, you have gained knowledge, you have interacted with knowledge, and we are coming shortly to be able to define what's tacit, what is implicit, what is explicit together. Yes, learning is taking place, the skill is harnessing and endeavoring talents is very important. The organization needs to have various ways of capturing various ways of capturing and managing knowledge, further to have a knowledge management policy. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Esther. John, great insights indeed. My key learning point is that knowledge is unselfish. And the more you share, the more you acquire. Yes. Thank you, John Makuge. I believe, and my take in life is whatever knowledge I get, if you need it, I give it to you. The more I give it to you, the more I become better. Yeah. Yes, very good insights, useful for work and personal life. Yes, and that's why we say education is to help people become fulfilled in life. It was the biggest problem even in our times is when we take education, knowledge acquisition as to benefit us financially. It is to help you to make decisions, is to be able to make you fulfilled, is to be able to make you that, yes, there you are. You can be able to negotiate life even during times of pandemics. It builds confidence. Knowledge builds confidence. Okay. Useful data. Now, future generations to be able, thank you. The data that we get today, we have, for example, the COVID. How did it come? Is somebody capturing it? Is it stored somewhere? How did it come? How did it affect? How did it affect the people in Kibera, in Lavington, wherever it is? How did it affect? How were the lifestyles? What were those information? We need to capture them somewhere. Every organization, Financial Times, financial crisis, even the knowledge we are getting from Beirut, how are we able to take those photos, those snaps, be able to say, this is what they did, this is what they went wrong. We don't need to wait until we go wrong. Information is power. Knowledge embedded in human is in the human, understand that this can be measured and transferred. Kindly expound. That's a question. Yes, knowledge can be measured and it can be transferred through coaching and mentoring by having a depository of knowledge for all of us that we can be able to get into it. Never to be selfish with knowledge, use it to transform, impact yourself and the world. Very, very important. And this is what enhances leadership. Leadership, to my definition, over many times and many classes with many people, is ability to know yourself, ability to control yourself, that's self-management, and ability to know your environment and help others, which is embedded under the great topic that I love sharing, emotional intelligence. Okay. Great people. My friend Mongela needs to have a platform to retrieve, store. Again, before retrieving Mongela, you need a platform to capture, create, capture, so that the information as it's coming, it's already created, so that it can be categorized properly. It can be created, captured, so that it can be able to be retrieved when after being stored. Ensure the access of accumulated organizational knowledge. So that, and we thank COVID, all this that we are sharing with you will be able to have it in our YouTube. If you go to our scgafrica.com later after this webinar, you can be able to get all what our sharing is, so that we can help, we can move together and be able to deliver. So even if I die I'm not dying soon, but should it happen, it's okay. I was able to share some knowledge with people, what I've acquired on this specific subject. Very important. Accumulated organizational knowledge. Yes, Kennedy Ocheng, I concur that information comes from relevant data presented in a logical manner. Yes, so the information needs to be known. Which data are we gathering? How are we creating that data? How are we able to capture it? How are we able to store it? How are we able to have a secure access to all this? So, Mr. Wainaina, I hope you will share the insightful presentation. Yes, at the end, I find application of this in everyday life. This one will be available in our YouTube, on YouTube and scgafrica.com, Sun Consulting Group Limited. I will be able to put it there immediately. You can be able to, and we can be able to indulge. I find application of this in everyday life experiences, both at work and at home. Yes. And sometimes different experience. There's nobody who is foolish. Even a foolish person is also taken as an example when you are referring to something. So each situation is very useful and insightful. So when it comes to knowledge and who told you that that person is foolish? What measure did you use to differentiate? You hear sometimes people talking obnoxious, telling someone this one is foolish. How did you measure? What knowledge did you gather? What do you know that he knows? Did you know that there's something that he knows you don't know? And vice versa. So it's good to respect one another in this world. Everybody has something to offer. Okay, thank you very much. Bwana Chonuenena, thank you so much. And thank you so much, participants. You're keeping, when you're sharing with me, I feel giving more and more. Yes, again, that's a strategy of motivation. Now we also go to pillars of knowledge economy. ICT, knowledge economy, we have innovation, because we need to create. You need to innovate at your point. How are you innovating? How are you going to create the data that is required? How are you going to capture it? Where are you going to store it? How are you going to secure it? Because organizations are unique in their ways. And the knowledge that organization has, its style, its systems, its people, its skills, make its uniqueness. You can never find another organization like Stern Consulting Group Limited in this world, because the skill set, how we do things, is very different from how you do yours. And so you can also be able to borrow a bit of few things, but never, even twins are never the same, even those identical. So innovation is very important. ICT. So ICT, many organizations are belaboring and talking about the issue of ICT. It is that job for those people who went and did technology. It is all of us, we have to be. This is like using a road. A road engineer did it, but we all use it. So you must also know how to use the road. You must know how to be able to live on a tarmac. Now we have the tarmac, the technology base, the technology platform. ICT, education, because we need to be relevant. It's very informatics. How do we able to create information from the data? How are we able to create the information society, knowledge society, knowledge management? I was impressed the other day, no long ago, some 2-3 years ago, I went to Dubai. I went for a course in Dubai. I was doing balance scorecard, and it was very interesting. As I was, I said, I will use technology. I got into the, I got into the sites. I got an email. I looked at the email and I said, this course, I want to do a part in Dubai, and another part I do it in Sir George Washington in US. So I said, let me see the course. I've never met these people. We chatted, whatever the course and all that thing. We finished. I asked some few travel agents. They started giving me complications. I went to my phone, simple. I looked around. I have my credit cards. I gave or I booked a hotel. I looked, where is this? Where is the hotel that the training will be happening? I checked at the airline. Of course, I love my own airline. I love Kenya Airways. Can pay a bit more, but they are good people. You'll always connect. Can pay more for connection. Then I booked the program, and I booked the program first, like 3 months before. Then like a month before going, then I started planning my travel, my accommodation. And I liked this one. Why am I giving this story? In Dubai, there is a place called the Knowledge City. This is where they have dedicated all their things about, all the university to do with technology in one place. It's called the Knowledge City. There's also the Internet City. They're all together. How nice. And you are guaranteed when you're there. Yes, that's where technology is. You'll be able to do your things. You want to go to what type of food to eat, whatever, you get into to the internet. You get to know what type of food you want to go, how much it will cost you, what vehicle shall you use, good to go there. It was fantastic. How economy is, how ICT is and changing the world. You go to Dubai, there are no police. You don't see police on the road, but there you pass pass the traffic lights when it is on the stop mode. The next place you're going to stop, you'll see a cop, and or not even a cop, you'll get a message on your phone, and you'll be asked to pay the fine within 24 hours. And let me tell you, the fines, not joke. They're in hundreds of thousands, and there's nobody to corrupt. It is you and the system. You pay. If it's not that, if you'll not pay the fine, you'll be advised again by an SMS where you should go and be jailed because you're not fit. And that's technology. And that's where we are going even as the economy. Even if people will pretend here not using a lot of corruptive tendencies, this is where things are going. Knowledge. Them, they can be able even to know how did you get into that country and how you got out of the country. Knowledge management, knowledge city. Even in your place, there's some organizations in this country which have knowledge management department. Others don't have a clue what is knowledge management. It's all about. But those that have, God bless you. And at least, again, this knowledge management thing, it is more prevalent in the government institution than private sector. Private sector, they don't have an idea. They're chasing for the ever disappearing cash. But thank God we are there. We have our customers. We will be able to enlighten them through webinars and such kind of stuff. We'll be able to help the world and be able to progress very well. So I appreciate you all. Please, if you have questions, please go to the question. Go to the question. I like answering questions as we continue. What strategies can we use to retrieve knowledge held by different members of staff? When you go for a meeting, Anselm Mongella, when you go to a meeting, there is always minutes of the meeting. Do we write them well? Do we record them? For example, right now, this is, I believe this is, the recording is, the entire of this and what's happening, it will be available for you. That's how knowledge management is captured. That's how you'll be able to capture it. From little things like the minutes of the meeting, just get them. You can be able, even if I come to your organization and give me the minutes of the meetings, I can be able to check, and I'll be able to tell you what is ailing the organization. You say this, which you don't follow, or it's followed, it does not have metrics. You never know who did it, what, when, how. So those are the things you can start basic. Then when you have those documents, how are they digitized so that they can be stored into a technological platform that it will be easier for you to be able to retrieve. So that's the critical, that's a critical thing that's important for us. Start doing the little. In implementation, we say start doing the little small things and start putting them. Get all the minutes, for example, get all the minutes, see how it can be digitized, have a shared folder. This is how we talked. Particularly, what COVID has done, it has made us realize technology is very important. We can be able to discuss. But many people are refusing yet, even now. They're saying, no. I know I have my friend here who was joining us today from, is he there or is he not there? There's a friend of mine who was joining from UAE and is in this meeting. So you can just imagine how nice, how great it is, how great it is that we can be able to connect the world. And that's why we are heading knowledge management. So we continue pondering on this and we put actions into place. So your question which you asked, strategies, start small. The minutes you have, digitize them, put them in a folder. If you have a visualize opportunity, if you are doing Zoom, record, keep it, help one another. But again, it should not be used against anyone. And this is where we talk about building confidence in people. Building confidence in people. You must be confident in what you are doing because you know what you know. The biggest challenge about why you lose confidence, many a times people lose confidence. Why? Because they're not sure what they're doing. They are not sure of themselves. They have not developed their leadership capacity. They don't know themselves. They can't control. So they fear, they live in fear. And reflecting back to the book, the great book, the Bible, Fear not. Don't stop being astonished. Do not be afraid. 365 times, King James Version. Why are you fearing? Start collecting information. What you share with others. Very, very important. So making available increased benefits of knowledge management, it will make available increased knowledge content, the develop provision of products and services. We shall also achieve shorter new product development cycle, particularly in the business side, because we already know what has happened. Fashions will come and go. Fashions will come and go. Bell bottom was there. It came again. It will disappear. We saw our children today, our youngsters are having very big hairs. The froze were there. Now they have discovered that that's a new style. To them, it's a new style. But those who have lived around in this world, that was there. So when we are able to know this, we'll be able to know this happened, this is bettering, this. Breakdance was there. It will come again so soon. Kizomba, those kind of things, even the dancing and socializing world. Then benefits of knowledge management, it helps facilitating and managing innovation and organizational learning. When we are doing induction to people, many organizations do induction wrongly. This is HR, this is whatever. Everybody, you've come for induction, but they have taken an opportunity like they're interviewing you again. Where did you come from? Why did you think of joining this organization? The time of induction also becomes some of them is a time of your journey to go out. It's your entrance, you're entering, but also somebody during induction is also preparing your exit by what they tell you. You've come here, you didn't know. I've met many colleagues and I've told them, please never bite the hand that feeds you. And you should always be positive, be able to help others. But others use it as job security. So when new people are coming in the organization, they will do all that pertains and make sure that person becomes irrelevant or frustrated to leave that organization so that they can continue with their not good manners. I don't have a word bad in my vocabulary. So increased network connectivity between internal and external individuals, knowledge management, ICT capability and connectivity, very important. Managing business environments and allowing employees to obtain relevant insights and ideas appropriate to their work. We may not appreciate even the issue of what people are using like WhatsApp. WhatsApp for some groups are very interesting. They give you information. They help you connect. They help you obtain insights. When I had, for my first time to be able to know what is happening on Beirut disaster, it was through a WhatsApp group. So somebody sent something, said, please don't watch, this is very disturbing. Then I looked at it. So I gathered myself so that I can be able to look at it. Then I looked at it later on, I discovered, this is the news item. Then I saw somebody say, look at France 24 TV. Somebody said, no, it's all over CNN. By the time I was able to now to go through it and be able to know. Managing business environment situations, keeping us updated, it's about knowledge management, solving intractable or wicked problems. When we go back, we can be able to know, how did we do the things that we did? For example, if you take a good case of Kenya, we're talking about devolution that's working, or whatever, all this political. We forgot that those things were there. They were called district rural development, district focus for rural development. Something like that when I was growing, I had it in the district, that every district, how can be. But now it was politicized. But again, look at it. How was it being done? What are the benefits of then and now? What's the best model do we need going forward? Managing intellectual capital and intellectual assets in the workforce, such as the expertise and the know-how possessed by key individuals. We also need to develop something called the innovation policy inside the organization, so that when people are coming with, and people in the HR or in the management or wherever you are, because you are also a leader, you need to develop something that can also motivate people to share knowledge within the organization. Very, very important. You need to develop something in innovation policy. Who is innovating about our product, our new products? Who is innovating about our new financials? How shall we be able to? Who is innovating a new way of technology platform? Those are the things that we need to continuously be discussing and it will be very, very important as we continue in this realm. And this one, you can also have a knowledge management strategy, which can also encompass knowledge management policy, innovation policy within people, motivate people to start thinking, motivate people to talk, motivate people to document. Not only talking, there's some very good people who are very good in talking, but they cannot write. And some who are right, but they cannot talk. But again, mediate. If you say this, what just put it on email, collect that email. What information is giving to us. So to you in your organization, what benefit? Write to us, share on chat. What one benefit do you think knowledge management will do in your organization? Let's get to chat. Participation, even in our articles, even in our Article 10 of Kenyan Constitution, it says participation is of essence in everything that we do. Let's participate. So, kindly, one benefit. One benefit. Thank you. Thank you, Paris. Thank you. Fantastic. On top. Thank you. Let's continue. Thank you. Dear participants, we have very many. Please, yes, thank you. Enhancing business continue. Okay, thank you. I'm waiting to see more. Let's continue sharing. Let's continue sharing. It's fantastic. Whenever you share, you're also a motivator to us so that we can continuously be able to share with you knowledge. Continue sharing. Share. What is this benefit? One benefit of knowledge management to your organization from today henceforth, or to your situation, or even to your family. You know, sometimes we talk about organization, but even knowledge management. How did you take care of your child? There's so many parents. In parenting, there's so many challenges. New parents are not able to navigate challenges which are there. They're not fully documented. People Google to know how to rear their children when there's this problem, but it's not enough. You who know, I who know, to what level have we participated in making sure? What is this benefit of knowledge management to your organization? Okay, as we continue, we see how we are doing. We are doing very well, my fellow participants. This is a course whereby we can help you even in developing your strategy on knowledge management. And we can also see, was it ever captured? Knowledge management is captured under the business processes, internal business process, or the process perspective of your organization. It may have been captured in your strategic plan or never captured. If it's captured, how is it doing? We can help you to do monitoring and evaluation and be able to help others and help others know about it in your organization. We can always engage, indulge, and discuss to be able to make the world a better place for all of us. So if it was never captured in your strategic plan or in your planning, you can start now. So it's very important because also it helps in many other things as you are putting forth here. The knowledge management will make my organization carve a competitive niche among the many industry players. Fantastic, sure. Just know the knowledge, know what you know. The biggest challenge people in business, why people fail in business, is because they do not know that they don't know, number one, and they think, they lie to themselves, they think they know. Okay, number two, they have never done what's called self-awareness to be able to know where are their strengths and where are their weaknesses. They have been a product of copy-paste. A very good friend of mine we were discussing yesterday And he was telling me, sometimes you go, you see a certain supermarket chain is thriving. It's opening branches. Now you also decide to open one supermarket. You go and look for 100 million to start a supermarket. Do you know where you'll get the supplies? Have you done due diligence? Have you seen the basic factors of opening an outlet? This happens in even our day-to-day organization. Thank you so much, Michael. Succession planning becomes easy, seamless with KM. Yes. When you are not there, you can be able to continue. You can motivate me. I can motivate you. I can see something that has been done. You just get it and be able to do, and helps delivery fast. Knowledge management will make organization competitive niche. Thank you. KM help organization coin learning agenda upon which other projects, interventions may be developed. Thank you so much, Kennedy. And this is it. And then this is where you'll be able to see people right now with this COVID. People are not thinking people. They're not thinking people. You need to invest in people. This is the right time to invest in people. This is the right time for people to invest in themselves. They need to know more. It's not business as usual. In a situation where there were 500 people in an organization, the organization will not close, but it may retain 300. Are you among the 300? You'll say COVID took you home, but what were your skills? Did you enhance your skills? Did you have knowledge? Were you an asset within the organization, or were you a liability? Very, very important for us to be able to be appreciating this. Knowledge management. Thank you, Kennedy. It builds the learning agenda. We need to learn. We need to share information. John says knowledge management will make my organization curve a competitive. Yes, I read that. Again, knowledge management, this is from Joyce. Management enhances learning and business continuity. Sure, learning and business continuity. We should not fear that somebody has died, now we don't know what we'll do. We will go and poach person from this organization. Are you be able to be multifaceted? And this is the opportunity whereby you need to know. Joyce, also you had asked me about where do we put those people who they know everything, or to know. Those are very good people in knowledge management. But they need to be structured. If they know anything, to what detail do they know? And do not confuse their knowing and their personality. You may get a quiet person, an introvert, a melancholy, who knows there's something he knows. Maybe that's what makes that person become angry most of the time, because of what they know that we don't know what they know. So knowledge management enhances learning and the business continuity, helps organization growth. Yes. Knowledge management enhances organizational growth. And we must prepare to develop organization, help to have knowledge management that prepare our exit. Every person should be able to prepare through knowledge management his exit, that if I leave today, the person who I leave, will they have a better opportunity to be able to deliver? Knowledge management will improve consistency and make organizations survive the very changing environment. Fantastic, Boniface. Consistency. How did we do this thing? It will also reduce the failure rate. How did we do this? What happened? There are positive things we can learn from this. Business continuity. Reduce unnecessary expenditure. Know where to channel your resources. Very important. You know how? Yes. Then where do we channel our resources? Not channeling resources where we know we have the better ability to corrupt, to steal. You can read papers. Those who stole today, they are all going down. The revenge has not stayed too long. It's hitting them back. Why do you need your descendants, your generations, the people come after you to have problems because of lack of values? You took knowledge selflessly to benefit you rather than to help the community and others. Thank you. I think we are going on very well. So we continue a bit more learning because the course takes 5 days, how we've structured it, but because of need of sharing with people, great people, it's very, very important that I believe now we have something. You can even request, I need my departments to be able to be trained on this. Or I need in my organization, we need knowledge management champions from every department and be able to build a knowledge base, a community of practice within my organization, within my ministry. Nothing impossible. People will remember you that when so-and-so was here, this is the concept. It was in paper, he implemented it. So I believe we are continuing. The context of knowledge management. It has the human resource, the people. It has the organizational learning, as you have indicated as well. It has ICT. It has information management. Information management. In our organization, do you have a non-disclosure agreement? How do we handle information in our organization? How is our strategy? How is our records management? Are they all in papers? And this is where you need also to be able to be alert. Even the courts are going to become digital. You need to digitize each and everything so that when somebody comes and bans the organization, when something happens like what has happened in Beirut, everything is everything is blown away. Then you have something in the cloud that we can be able to continuously work without going to that physical building. So we must be able to know the information ownership and responsibility and develop flexible frameworks for us to continue excelling in the knowledge management framework and delivery. When it comes to human resources, are we ready with knowledge? What is happening? Right now, we need to change so many things. Already change has happened with COVID. Who thought that people can be laid off without notice? That what the government says is as if that has happened. It becomes like an act of God. We need to appreciate change has come. Performance management, how are we able to manage with the information that we have? Are we able to capture information? I had a good day yesterday. I had an opportunity also to meet this chairman of this one organization who told me, even if there's COVID, we think we are doing very well, and we were able to pay bonus. Last week, by the end of June, we paid everybody bonus. We are afloat. We paid the bonus, and the employees are happy. Then I asked the chairman, why did you pay bonus? I said, no, I think it's a good thing. They're happy. I said, how happy are they? He said, by the way, I think I'm also can't answer that one. I don't know, but we paid. So I asked him, do you think they are motivated? He remembered one course he attended that I was a presenter, and I said, money is not the only motivator in people development. There are many other motivators, how you relate to others, how you manage, how other people manage themselves within that organization, how the social awareness within that organization, and how inside the organization and outside the organization. So he told me, does it mean I did wrong? I said, no, you did not do wrong. You had the money to give them. But did you connect it to something? What was the performance they delivered? Or what had you told them to do that now it makes sense, so you gave them? Said no. And the board decided, let's give bonus. Said, okay. Something to ponder, something to think. Things are done. You don't know that you don't know. You know that you don't know. It's a better situation. So at least we ended at a point whereby we know, he knows that he doesn't know on matters on motivation, not only giving money, because some are saying, oh, they gave us money, they have only given me 15,000 shillings as bonus. And you see, that director has bought a V8 during COVID. When that money, they could have also added it to us. Again, knowledge management will help us to be purposeful, to be specific, to have matrices, to have measurements. It's an advanced way of doing things. It's a behavior. Between human resource management and organizational learning, we need to transform. It's behavior to deliver KM. What are the lessons that we have learned? What are the processes that we're developing? for us to become better? What decision support systems do we have? What SOPs, standard operating procedures, do we have? Who are the COPs? Who are our community of practice within this organization? So I go back to my chart. I like reading the charts. I like reading the chart. Don't worry about the slides. The slides are very many, but we will be able to be dealing with this situation. Should you feel that we need to be continuing with knowledge management webinars and you'll be able to bring more of your friends, sponsor them. And then we can be able to build this great place, this great world, all of us. So knowledge management is a great tool to enhance sustainable livelihoods and sustainable development. Prince Lekan Fadina, thank you. Wow, yes, sustainable livelihoods and development. If I ask you in the situation where you're coming from Kenya, you have the member of parliament, you have MCA, you have county administrators, you have sub-county administrators relevant to the MCAs, you have the governor, you have the county government, you have then you have also what is called the national government. Where are all these resources divided? Why are we very wasteful? You see a road which was done by county government. When you go to the books, it is registered, it was done by county CDF. People ate money. Why do we do that to our situation? But technology will be able to have GPS coordinates that this was done by so. When we correlate and get into details, you cannot replicate and say that you did it. So synchronization and asynchronization and collaboration. Content management, very, very important for enterprise search to deliver our growth as we continue. So knowledge management boosts the efficiency of our organization. Not only an organization, it should boost the efficiency of our country, of our ministries, of us together. Even the concept of the Huduma number, if it can be applied and be used, yes, it is data. It needs to be transposed to information and the knowledge that will benefit. And we can fast track this country in like 5 years to become a first world country if we all accept to be able to know what we need to know. Otherwise, living in the realm of we don't know that we don't know, it is very, very unfortunate. Let me see a question here. How do we deal with people who keep information to themselves, holding information? Yes, this is a type. This is lack of leadership. They don't know that they don't know. You can't blame them, Anthony. They don't know that they don't know. They don't know that when I share with you information, I become better. They don't know when I show you how to untie a rope, I become better in untying a rope. You can also show me another way of doing it. They don't know. We need to encourage them. And this is where it takes us as Stan Consulting Group. There are the other critical programs we have where we help people for self-awareness, personality profiling, people to know themselves, so then they can be able to know what their strengths, their weaknesses. We can help them develop them. Even within a team, there is also a profiling test. We help profile teams to be able to know what are their strengths, their weaknesses, what skills do they need, all of them together to be able to deliver. We need to appreciate one another. We need to learn from one another. We need to make best out of one another. There are some people who hold information so that they think it's job security. It should be adopted part of performance management and part of human resource management. That if you cannot be able to, if you're holding information and it can be proven you're holding information, there must be consequences. Choices have consequences. Even choice to hold information has consequences. I hope I'm answering that question properly with a lot of love and care. So, thank you. Thank you so much, Bon Anthony and many of us. So I would wish us to go back again to the chat. If you have no any other question, I've answered the question from Anthony. We have 3 more minutes for our time to end. We have lots of these things that we can be able to share, but I've taken consideration of where we have reached today. We have more that we can be able to, I say this is a big context that we need to build, and we shall be able to help one another. But before I go, there are 2 kinds of knowledge I want you to take with you. Knowledge is intangible, dynamic, difficult to measure, but without it, no organization can survive. But we can develop its qualitative metrics and be able to deliver. Having the right culture and values, policies to be able to deliver. So there are 2 kinds of knowledge. There's what's called tacit knowledge and explicit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is ability to adapt to deal with new and exceptional situations. But explicit knowledge is the ability to disseminate, reproduce, access, to reapply through the organization. Tacit knowledge is what is in you, it is in you, expertise, know how, know why, and care why. But when we need to others to be able to know, you reach to them, your ability to teach and to train. When I'm sharing this knowledge, it is tacit in me, but when I share it, I share it explicitly to you. Ability to collaborate, to share vision, to transmit culture, things that you cannot hold, difficult to measure, tacit knowledge. Even that person who does not share information, the biggest question will be, how do you know that he has information? That's tacit. But explicit is what is documented, it's organized, it's systematized. It can be translated into vision, into mission. So we can take the tacit knowledge in our discussions, be able to capture it. That's why knowledge management strategy is required in an organization, so that to be able to get tacit knowledge, what people have in their skills and talents, to be able to bring it on paper and or in videos, in presentations, to be able to be used for the entire organization. In tacit knowledge, coaching and mentoring to transfer experiential knowledge on one-to-one, face-to-face, because this knowledge is in you. You can be able, it's you who has it. It's tacit, it's in you. It's experience over time. It's knowledge that but you can be able to deliver to somebody else. Cultures are delivered by parents to their children. They are not written anywhere. African traditional society was very good in tacit knowledge. Western world went to explicit knowledge. They can transfer knowledge via products, services, or documented processes. I thank you all, and let me know if there's any question. I really appreciate if there's any question. If there's any question, thank you very much. Can you share briefly on how to develop a KM plan? Okay, time is gone, but okay. First thing that we need to do, briefly, how to develop a KM plan. Develop the KM champions. Develop the KM champions. Kennedy, I think we can be able to work together on this. Develop KM champions. Take all departments within the organization, be it customer,
so the sound is mute. Okay, thank you.
Am I on mute?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay, so on KM, we have to have knowledge management champions. Get your 5 or 6 or 10, if it's a big organization, you then go to the level of sections. Have somebody who's willing to participate in this, or bring them into one training. Them will train them to understand what is knowledge management, the important benefits to the organization. Then after them knowing, it will be easier for us to go and sit down and develop a plan relevant from each organization. Make sure you have the people from the HR, from the finance, from ICT, all around, so that all processes, production, then you can even from management, legal, so that we can be able to build together the strategy. So the beginning point, yourself, which I can see is very positive. you want to know how to develop a KM plan, is first of all, don't develop it alone because others don't know what it is. It is a new area that we need to handheld others. Some organizations we go and they do just matters to do with the HR only. But I also ask them, after you HR practitioners knowing, we need other departments, develop what is called the knowledge management champions across the department. Then we build what is called the community of practice of KM, community of practice in the organization. Then with that, you are not going to be delivering that KM strategy or plan via Sinai model, where Moses went to top of the Mount Sinai and brought the 10 commandments. Here, you will be able to have everybody together and it will be very easy to be implemented, to be followed to the letter. So Kennedy, you're welcome and we can be able to do these things. Let's keep in touch. Where you need more information, we can be able to do that. So I really appreciate you all. Such a great, I pray that presentations will be shared participants of the webinar. Thank you all. And I would wish to say, we had said the benefits, your key learnings. So we have covered everything and I appreciate each one of you. Thank you. I have one Prince Lekan Fadina from Executive Knowledge Hub in Nigeria. So thank you so much, Prince Lekan Fadina. We will be able to connect more. Then we can be able to collaborate how to develop many of these things in Africa and even in the world. Thank you so much. Back to Rachel for the final, and thank you so much to all of you. Always feel free to get in touch with me in person. Is 0722 575 595. That's my number. I'm always available, be it day or night. I sleep because you guys have gone to sleep. Otherwise, I'm always available. That's then our email address, www.scgafrica.com. Please indulge, you'll get the presentation there. You can be able to share and like it, and then we'll be able to work together. Thank you very much. God bless all of you, and looking forward to connect with you and deliver value to the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. for sharing the insights. Of course, we appreciate this is a very wide topic, and 2 hours is just a snapshot that we're able to share. And most of the insights that Dr. has shared with us, they have more elaborate content, which we're able to practically go dig deeper as we engage with you. So as you keep indicating in there, even how to come up with a plan, Kennedy, and other questions asked, I think the more detailed program will serve you right to take you through the entire realm of that, even to be able to do an assessment of the organization and get to know where is the organization within the knowledge path. So that and much more, and even fully exploiting and exploring the entire knowledge strategy amongst others. So we are happy to have you around, and for your participation, for your insights. We really take much pleasure in that and appreciate that sharing. We look forward to engaging with you. This presentation and the webinar has been recorded. It will be on our YouTube channel shortly after this. You will get a link on your email, or the participants who actually did attend. We had almost 20-something participants in a session. So we appreciate you. We look forward to having you in our next webinars. We shall be sharing with you the topics as we move on. Key take home, please remember, very importantly, the enablers that have been highlighted by Daktari, starting with leadership, to culture, to technology, as well as measurement. Measurement being very key here, and also the 3 elements of knowledge management: the people, the processes, and technology. So from us here, Stan Consulting, we want to say thank you so much. And I think we are free. We can leave at your pleasure. It was nice hosting you and having you participate in this session. Ohereni.